Well, hello there, YouTube. Welcome to the route learning video here on the channel. My name is Emily. Today we are here on Ludwigsbahn by Dovetail Games. This is route from Manheim to Kaiserslautern. We're driving it today on the ICE3MF. This is also updated with a mod from the Train Media website, which would give functional TVM and KVB. However, TVM, I thought I set it, but it won't be working today as we are on a non-TVM route. The reverse ring got a fold on roof, the doors on the left. We've got everything prepared there. The train is prepared. We're just getting it ready in terms of safety systems and stuff. There we go. Got our speed limits plugged in. So I've set us to 40 for initial start speed. The train can actually go faster than that. It's a 60 limit through the station, but because we're going against we've got a signal to pass. I don't want to over exceed that before basically. So I don't want to over exceed the PZB restricted monitoring. We are due away in 20 seconds, so what I'll do, platform rate interface is nice and clear. Unlock the doors. We've got 5 seconds to go. There we go. Break off. And the cab we go, so we can pull off. Can we reach restrict monitoring? And now we are allowed to go up to 60, so when we just tap that up to 50, and there's 60. You can see the AFB repeats down there. So the little red diamond there, so AFB is basically speed control feature. So the train won't over exceed that speed. I'm trying to put about half. I'm trying to set power on. .101 coming towards us now. Hello 101, goodbye 101. And I've got a cautionary speed, which keeps us restricted at 60. But 85. So we can actually go up to 80 per when we pass the appropriate milepost, which is the 68.8 milepost. After Ludwigshafen Rhein-Mitte. So after this station here, we can go up to 80 basically. Well, there's the 80 there, so 6.8. Oh, this is fun. The mileposts don't correspond at all. I love this station architecture, it's very extra. It's still being restricted here. Oh, sorry, Grace. Secretary for Carberry's apparently. Okay. Got a cautionary aspect here, so just keep up track. We do jump onto LZB quite soon, so I'm hoping the LZB will just take over and we'll be less pained here. So 68.0 milepost. We're getting pulled around. That is a rather nasty bridge they've got over there. That's cool. So you can hear the train, because I've got AFB on, the train is basically just holding the speed using its own braking. Again, I should be braking that myself, but honestly, I'm letting the train have like a little bit of thing today. Really what I should do is just go idle. Just because we get quite late cycling the platform, Gives the punters a chance to step back, basically. Right, gonna go up to 80 now. As it is our prerogative to go to. Power on, let's go. Full power! Let me get out of here. It's weird, it looks like there's like an artifact lying in the middle of the track when you're not going over point work. Which basically makes it look like there's an LZB cable there when there isn't, in fact. Lots of 425 kicking about in the sidings. Some Zackens down the back. One of the needed to burn 6 to 8. There we go. And then 5 trains. Nicht einsteigen on that 425 there. Train's not in service. Now I am at 4.7 at the 103.2 we go up towards at 160. So don't stay at speed now. We're in a good place. So Zephyr is our, so the voice button, Zephyr, it's basically the alertness sounder. So the way it works, there's a light kicks on, there's our 160 for those of you playing right at home. But there's basically a light that kicks on, and if I don't react to that, it then shouts at me. As you can see with the way the lighting is in the game, it is very difficult to see those lights at the moment. So that's why I am just going to top the AFB again. Yeah, so we're up to 160 now. So interestingly, I can kick the AFB wide open, so you can see the AFB is selected at 330 kmh, but it's only going to allow us to go up to 160. That's because the safety systems on the train are saying, no, you've not got in-cab signaling, you can't go faster than 160. Because that is the restriction in Germany. You can't exceed 100 miles an hour, 160 kilometers per hour, which are near enough the same thing for it not to matter. Yes, you pedant in the comments. Without in-cab signaling. That's a very blowy 425 then. Oh, on it basically. So we're up to speed now. I let the train capture the speed, then I'll just do my bit to maintain. Actually, the next post we are interested in is 79.6. That is where we get checked down to 130 kmh. I'll just let it shut off and then power up and then shut off. Do it that way, I think, today. I'm doing my best to learn to drive more realistically, and this is, I think, is part of that. Hey, see these are limited to 330 in real life. They're speedy boys. They can go nice and quick. And I'm going to put power back on now, open it for at half. 94.6. So yeah, I am got a day off. I've just seen the roster being posted for next week. I finally got some spare turns. They'll probably go away. I'll probably get given jobs. But we've got some newbies starting, so they've obviously been given jobs over, which I'm completely fine with, by the way. Completely fine with. But, so spare. So, say I work in the railway industry. Unlike, say, working in an office where or like, let's say you work in a shop, right? And you're expecting to have 20 people show up. Only 17 do. You can, or only 19 do. You can jiggle the remaining 19 people around to cover that 20th person's job. The edge of working in an on-train environment is you can't do that because, well, the way you need them is about 30 miles away. So we have what's called spare shifts. So it's a shift where basically under rostering principles, you go in, you sit in the mess room. Oh, there's no LZB on this, is there? I don't know what I was talking about LZB. I apologise. I just realised that was this route. Yes, you go in, you sit in the mess room, and you are, but you've got 4 hours in which they can allocate you a job. And that job has to be within your hours. There's some rules and restrictions tied to it, but basically, as long as it's within your hours and all that kind of good stuff, you're legal to be given that job, so to speak. So the end result is that most of the time, you go in, you either get a job straight away, or if you score, you don't get a job, and you've got sort of 4 hours in which to be given a job. And if you don't get given one, like I say, you're golden. You scored. You're very lucky. You can go home and pet your cat, basically. But if you get given a job, it can be up to 10 hours of your shift. That sounds really good. If you get given a job at the 3-hour mark, it's a 7-hour job, and you're on a 10-hour shift. By the end of those 10 hours, you want to kill yourself. Not because it's a particularly hard job or anything like that, but I personally find that if you are working on a train, or if you're at work, basically go to work 3 hours early, sit in the break room, stare at a wall for 3 hours, never go do your job. It's not the same. Well, it's not as easy, I should say. So, the hope is, like I say, I've got 2 spare shifts I've been put in my roster. So when my cards are out, I'm going to London until next Saturday now, which is great. Suits me up and down. Suits me up and down. It's, yeah. Power back on. Actually, it's not smash that hard, let's flash maybe half. But yeah, so basically it means I've scored in that sense. But what can happen is, up until 48 hours beforehand, I can get an email saying, "Hi, Emily, we've allocated you a shift," and they can move me 3 hours either way. And within 48 hours, they can still do that, but just say, "Show up at this time for this shift," which that's absolutely fine by me. But it just doesn't say the moment it looks like I've scored, that may not be the case. I see how many of us are going to be spare at 5 o'clock in the morning on what day I've got my first spare allocated? Wednesday. Wednesday. Well, Wednesday. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that is before 8 AM. Holy balls, that got the overtime. That's just insane. But as an example, that day I booked on at 5:01, so I have to be at work for 5:01. They can give me a job by 9:01. And if they don't give me a job by that within that time, or give me a job at 9:01, I have to be back in the depot by 14:45. I had them do stuff like that to me before. The last round of industrial action, through some genius planning. I just think that's slowing down now because we're at 81.2. So I'm going to brake myself, and then I'm going to reduce my RF bet accordingly. Going to step 3 brake. Keeping an eye out of the window as well as in the window for the PCB magnets for the warning. I believe it's just before this bridge. It's on 30. I'm just doing this out of panic. No, there was no signs, so I'm going. Got to check where I were. There's the 130, so it's just after the bridge. Oh well. There we go, and we'll go back into half power. And I missed a magnet somewhere. Yeah, I missed the magnet. Oh well. Well, some of it our new style with some kills in the background and some shims and some heavens. So it can happen that you do get caught out, and I'm going to leave that in because that wasn't me not knowing that was the speed restriction, speed change there. That was me trying to set my train up and being eyes in the cab and being eyes out the cab. And that's part of the risk factors in how the German railway operates. That's up! There we go, let's play. So I want to take a quick screenshot for a thumbnail, just in case I've not got one. Do love the ice train. I don't drive it very much because I feel like it's one of those trains that was overdone in the early days of TS. Got the Regio Springer over there. Yes, that's what they call those. Preserve Little 628 here. I'm presuming this is some sort of museum that they're connecting with the good old 628, eh? Must be. That's cool. We've got 425 over there. That's a Regio Springer. It's the 628 again. Basically same as this, but refurbished. I never noticed the PIS was different, so you got the Nicht Einsteigen there and like dot matrix. And here it's... Oh, it's the same. I thought they were up. It must be because it's not lit up. It's where the game treats it. I understand it then. Well, that's clear straight up to 90, perfect. This is Neustadt Riemstrasse Ausbahnhof. Got a 101 coming the other way, 425, 628s. So at the 76-mile post, so I'm just being cognizant of where I am. We've done the fast bit now. Now it's the slow bit. We go up to 100, down to 90, up to 100, down to 90. There's a lot of, basically, this is sort of the kinky bit. They're down to 80 for like 1 kilometre, then back up to 100, then back to 130, back to 150, then we're in Kaiserslautern. To give you an idea, we are passing milepost 75.2. Kaiserslautern is at 44, so it's about 33 kilometres of dropping like this. And the last 8 are done at 150 as well. I'll include that little snippet. You can see the light was on there really briefly before I cleared it. And you can see the lights really clearly now we're in a tunnel. As soon as we go outside, they just disappear. That is one of the bugs I do think needs addressing. So we are into the ton limit now. So one of the things we don't tend to do is reduce the speed limit using IFB. It's interesting how the traction motor noise has changed its speed. Because we just excited 10 km/h and we've gone from like more of a roaring sound really. I do want to get back out on the Vectron as well soon. I might do that the other way. So, full disclosure, you're going to see this video probably first, then you're going to see a second video going the other way. It's going to be a it is going to be at a much higher. It's going to be basically in a few weeks' time. It's going to be a video of the freight train going the other way. I've also got a really intense sense of paranoia that I've already recorded this video, but I swear I haven't. Yeah, the sound's happening, man. No, I know, definitely know I haven't, and it's 67 is our 90 limit, so I've got 3k still to go. But after a week, where I put 2 overtime shifts in, but I'll just sound off what my week's shifts were. 6 hours, 8 hours 27, overtime 7.25 hours, overtime 9 hours 20 minutes, booked shift 7 hours 35, 9 hours 22 minutes, 6 hours 38 minutes, 8 hours 1 minute, 8 hours 1 minute. And I've got a training, and I've got a short shift tomorrow, training day, Tuesday, then 2 spare shifts. I'm not booked in until Saturday again, which is just, it's lovely. We love to see it, folks. We love to see it. Is there anything else on Sunday I could take? No, I'm not taking anything on Sunday. I'm resting. I've been killing the overtime lately. I need to stop. I did about 50 hours, 50, 60 hours overtime this month. Can't wait to see it on my pay slip. 2k. Right. 2k. And I'll back up for 3k, then we're back down for 3k. There's a lot of speed changes here. To be honest, we stayed at 90, we'd probably still keep about time, because 10 kilometers an hour isn't a massive speed, isn't a massive difference in speed. That's what happened. The Zephyr got me. The Zephyr man got me. 90 warning, no PCB magnets. But in fact, what I'm going to do is just power off. 1, 2. And just start skewing the speed up until we get down to 90. 90 is that second little notch there. Lovely views, but well, that's a bit blank, which I know is a real, like, I think it's just because of how detailed the rest of it is, that's really obvious. And the car goes in, half path. I should be hitting in neutrals. No, not neutral section, I don't know what that signpost means, we'll see. But there's the 90, which we're at. Yeah. 66.8. 66.2 is already go back up to 100. Close to even go back up to 66. Because you've got to remember, we've got to get the full train through Corey Accelerate. In fact, what I can just shut off power. Green signal. This basically means there is no speed restrictions placed on my train. 66.2. There's the 100. I'm letting the speed drop off it, so about 85, 89. 66, I'm now going to just gun the throttles and go back up to the ton. And then some slow, low power, and off. Actually, that's 85. Let's go for 100. I'll tell you, hit against the. You see what I mean? This is one of the reasons you don't speed change. Is it's very aggressive in terms of throttles. If you were having a bad day, you absolutely could do that. But let's be fair. There's not really any point. There we go. Probably our throttle set slightly below what it would need. There's the C4 light. And there's me resetting it. I got warning again, so yeah. Oh, so I've missed my 100 opportunity here. No, I haven't. That's my 90. So, off at throttle. Slight brake application. Sharp brake application. Brake off. RF better 90, power on. And there we go, we're accelerate again. Again, when I'm sneaking through stations like this, I tend to blick the horn, especially on the retail stations. And stuff like that, purely because trains be quiet, people be silly people, they try and run across the tracks, thwack, and I'm trying to avoid thwack from occurring. So you can see there's one PZB light on. PZB's been chill throughout this entire experience. Down to A2 we go. Apologies for the burps though. So 80 isn't until 60.8. So I'm going to go down to it, and again, just select the RF berm. Please. Thank you. Just quick transfer power and get us back up to it. 61.2 we're at. 400 meters short of the speed restriction. And we're at the speed. So the reason that we don't use AFB for speed change, I'll demonstrate that now. We're at 80, we're in power. It sort of jolts the train back quite a bit. It slows you down absolutely fine, but it jolts when it starts braking. Takes quite a sharp brake application. And then as it filters off, it's a bit of a jolt as it brakes come off again. Basically, it's just not a very good driver. And we use no more than half power. Because we don't need any more than that at these speeds. And we're going to go to 100 momentarily. There's a 100 post. We'll wait until we're in the tunnel, then we'll put the throttle off on. Going up to the tunnel. And we are nearly through. So I do have some fun content coming up. I'm planning on recording basically some joined up videos. So it's not the same train journey, but basically doing Nuremberg, München to Garmisch-Partenkirchen, and then finishing off in train symbol and Garmisch-Partenkirchen. On Mittenwaldbahn on modern timetable. Mod. Ooh, car train. Wave to the taxi boy. Oh, he's got some bins in there as well. Mush in the middle. Mostly some cars and car parts. And there's some more bins on the back. That appears a bit like a substitution fail, but hey ho. And what we'll do, I'm just going to chop the throttle off. For about that, let the speed wash away again, and we'll just keep driving that way. The 130 post isn't until the 54 kilometre mile post. What else can I rant and rave about? I've run out of things to talk about. So Sunday, yes. I'm going to have a bemoan here. Again, I'm not going to mention names because I don't think that's right. So it's spoken to that person and all that kind of thing. We basically, the train I was on, we had 3 different trains we took that day. I'm going to do this really deliberately vague. And so this ties into train driving. Okay, that's why I'm keeping it vague, because obviously it involves a colleague and professional. Whilst talking about colleagues negatively outside of, actually no, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to come a cropper. Anyway, I'm really over at work. I'm trying not to talk about work. I'm doing a cosplay meet on Saturday, which would be fun. But yeah, I'm all the things I want to something to talk about. Work, don't want to do that. I had a lovely chat with the lady actually about so one of the, so this is part work I can't talk about. I want to keep it so vague so we're straight down the middle. Obviously, I'm in UDNR within RMT. Everyone loves a trade union. Everyone loves a strong union. Unless it's with Europe, I mean, what? No one will get that joke, and that's okay. We're coming up on the 130 here, so we'll just go up to the ton. There's the 130. Got a light, must be a triangle. That's cool. First time I've seen one of those in Germany, actually. Like satellite on the nose, that is the station. Let's just do it now. Ah! Speedy boy! Speedy boy, speedy boy, speedy boy. No, I'm a fan of the ice. So yeah, I'm a union representative. So I do quite diversity inclusion because obviously I'm transgender. Well, it's not because inclusion is something I've always felt quite strongly about, and the more I've sort of exposed myself to both eating out within work and sort of going to, and experiencing some video conferences and going to some events, and outside of work, obviously my experiences, lived experience as a trans person, inclusion is something I think should be a basic consideration, right? Most of us accept the premise that regardless of who you are, you should be given the same treatment. Now, I'm going to translate that slightly to the same opportunity to succeed. They got 150, power up smash basically, and we're going the rest of Kaiserslautern now. 150 we passed there at 52 mile post. Like I say, about 8k, and so this is a 1.3 kilometer long tunnel on the route, the Heiligenberg tunnel. And then we pop out of that, and then after that it's basically straight into Kaiserslautern at 44k. So yeah, anyway, I was trying to say, before I ruined it to myself, yeah, most of us agree on the basic premise that, you know, fair treatment should be something that's guaranteed. Now, I expand that a little bit to everyone should be given the same chances. What I mean by that is, for example, well, or the same chance to succeed. And the way I would explain that is, nothing should be harder for you on the grounds of who you are. For example, in a work environment, let's say your job. Okay, I'm going to use wheelchair users as a really good example here. Let's say you're not a wheelchair user. What that means is basically you're a wheelchair user who can't use the lights at all. So there's two types of wheelchair users: broadly speaking, ambulatory, not ambulatory. Ambulatory can work sometimes, makes use of a wheelchair, but non-ambulatory can't walk at all. So so you're not an ambulatory wheelchair user, and your job is photocopying, right? Really basically, your job is taking some notes for a meeting, taking them to the other end of the meeting, put them in the photocopier, and coming back. That's something anyone can do, right? That is a job anyone who's non-disabled, disabled can do, in theory, right? Giving everyone the same chance to succeed at that job, if you're an ambulatory wheelchair user, would mean that the building is accessible to you. That means ramps, lifts, all that kind of malarkey, right? In the railway industry, that is something we are struggling with. There are staircases in the building that I work at, and sort of half mezzanine floors, that make absolutely no sense. The front door to the building, where the lift is only open from 7 a.m. Now, fair enough, most of the people who I'm aware of in the company who are wheelchair users do work administrative roles that are sort of office hours, so 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But let's say, you're one of our on-call managers and you're in the building at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, they'll probably give you a key to open the front door for yourself, but that is my example, right? Also, oh, cack. Welcome to Kaiserslautern, folks. It's gonna be fine. We might actually make this. But yeah, basically, so I had a really nice chat with a lady on the train, who was on my train, who was a wheelchair user, and sort of I was having an awful day on Sunday, as I sort of alluded to, and a couple of different things led to that. You saw nothing, YouTube. That was planned. Everyone's on the floor. But the thing is, we're fully platformed. That is a legal stop. So we're handing over here. Reverse goes to neutral. Brake goes to set. Off, neutral. Set. There we go. There we go. I didn't speed at all. there, really, except for that last bit where I sort of stamp on the brakes somewhat. Oh, okay, I lost a few points to speeding, but fine. So please let me off my train. But anyway, as I was sort of saying that, and that's part one, part about Edie and I had a real good chat with her, and it was just one thing I've learned about is disability. I make no secret of the fact that I'm not as educated on it as I'd like to be. And it was really nice to chat to her and sort of talk about her lived experiences and how she interacted with people and interact with her. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. But anyway, thank you for watching today's YouTube video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe to see more from me on a very regular basis. Until next time, folks, though, it's bye for now.